There we go. And we did it. All right, y'all. Welcome to day 8 of whatever the heck it is we're doing. I had to take a day off because I was super duper tired. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't make it today. I had a very late night at the gym, and it is hard to get up when you're this tired and this sore. But we're gonna get it done. We are going to get it done. Okay. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Yeah. We've got Greg, we've got Paolo in the chat. So let's start talking about the week so far. And what we have going on here, guys. So today, first and foremost, 8:30 we have unemployment claims. Okay. So did 2 of my 3 wins. Start with some. Let's just do. We'll actually make a new section today. Okay. And we'll call it stuff. It doesn't really matter what you call it, right? We'll get a little flippant with it today. So we have unemployment claims at 8:30. FOMC at 2 p.m. So the question of the day is what should we expect for the market narrative today? Okay. And we also need to go to the weekly and keep in mind the weekly candle. Okay. Now, off this weekly close, am short biased. I'm short biased off the weekly close for at least a sweep to a major level. What do I mean by that? Well, let's add our visible range volume profile on here. Okay, I still have how do we react to this weekly doji candle on here, right? Last time I was here, I said short the fib retest of the weekly. And look what happened in the markets. Really, really simple. Still would have faced some drawdown, but you can see here, stop, as I mentioned, above this candle, right? And you're fine, okay? What happened last time, we had a short signal in our uptrend, is it was delayed. So I'm expecting us to maybe do that again, right? So we have the signal. This might be an up candle week, and then we might get the big opening. Also remember, this week opened up. Most of this, the low to the high of this candle, actually the entire low to high of this candle was formed on Monday. It was formed in one day. Okay, so we could have, this could close, this could settle today right around in here, and we could have a very violent open next week, right? Where are my tools at? Here they are. Okay, we could open down strongly, or we could start to make this move today. The thing is with today, again, it's Wednesday, and we have a shortened week. Okay, shortened week. So we've got today and tomorrow to finish the weekly off however it needs to look. To be honest, I don't really know what's going to happen today. Okay. Let's get our weekly chart here. So not sure what will happen today, but overall, okay, regardless of today, in the next few days, I think we're going to come down to PT2 probably, right? Or at least come and sweep this level here at 21,372. Okay, so last week was a high volume down candle doji. Oh, let me open up the chat here. Let me see you guys. High volume down candle doji candle, and let's see, high volume down candle doji candle. In an uptrend, we might see a delayed reaction to our down signals, okay? Which means we finish this week green and then roll, right? This is a possibility. So if you're thinking about positioning short, just understand that, you know, without a good entry, you could face some drawdown here, but holding a little swing short is my main trade right now. Okay. Levels, you know, looking for PT2, looking for price target to lower. Okay. Yeah. So we have the fib retest. Yeah. All right. Don't need to untick that anymore. It's in the image. Let's go to the daily. Actually, let's go to ES. Give me this one. 1 day. All right. Let's let this load in. 1 week. Sanity check. 1 day. All right. We got here. Okay. So on the daily, scroll down in our document here a little bit. There's a few things going on the daily here. Okay, so we are in this node. There's this obvious shelf like right here that we've been inside of. Look where all this chop is. Okay, this node has become quite pronounced on the daily. We are chopping inside of this rather large node. Is my stream, why is it always doing that? Okay. We're chopping inside of this rather large node. We have data at 8:30. So the question is, what do we do going into 8:30? Well, we could range across this node. We can come back up to 6,093. Okay, so option A is good range back up across the node, right? We range back up across the node. That brings us there. We settle right at 8:30. Regardless of whatever move we have, remember, you're going to FOMC 2 p.m. It's going to be very, 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 very choppy. So we have one opportunity to move really in the morning. Okay, the other option is that we start trending. And we trend all day, right, through FOMC, through unemployment claims. It's either extreme chop today or trend. We're not going to get a rangy day. Very unlikely, in my opinion, for us to get a very rangy day. Okay, range. So we range back up across the node, right, 8:30. That settles us, and then we start to chop. Chop after 8:30 data. Or B, we start moving and keep moving all day. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. Now, C, you know, my less confident thesis, but let's put it here. We immediately rip lower. You're probably saying, Forrest, you're, actually, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Immediately rip lower. If you're down bias, what do I think we're going to range higher? Well, I think we're going to range higher today. Again, on the weekly, think we're gonna have this delayed reaction to our signal candle, just like we did on, you know, the daily. Last time we had a signal on the daily. Okay. Daily close here, we had an up candle, then we had the down move. Okay. So on the weekly, I was expecting the same behavior. Really, really simple way to trade. Okay. Now I'm already positioned short from higher, so the timing on this doesn't matter. I can sit pretty. If you're not short down, it's gonna be a little bit harder. Honestly, I mean that's just trading. It's gonna be harder to manage a trade. A lot of you guys. Let's go to the 4-hour. We'll add our session volume profile, and let's get a little particular. So we got a few more people join. Chime in on the chat, ask questions. What questions could I answer for you? Let me know. Let a brother Nizzo. All right. Saying a delayed reaction. Yeah, so let me show you here on the daily. So we have a signal candle here that closed on the daily, right? High volume down candle after the sweep. This was a short that I took a while ago. The next day closed green though, right? And then we got a down candle. So it was delayed by a day. So I'm expecting the same thing on the weekly time frame. Comb my hair? What do you mean, bro? I can't look a little crazy? I can't look a little crazy, brother. I'll comb it six Billy bands. I'll comb it for you, brother, after this. I promise. Or maybe I won't, man. Maybe I won't comb my hair. All right, so on the 4-hour, this is that big node that we're inside of on the daily. Let's scoot out just a little bit more, see if we can get some more structure in here. Now, what we really want here on the 4-hour is the shorter term bias. Okay, I want to understand and try to anticipate. Okay, coming into the open here, we know we have data at 8:30. What's most likely to happen? And do we have any 4-hour signal candles? Okay, so there's a few questions here. Okay, questions I want answered on the 4-hour. Just write that down. 1. Are there any 4-hour signals that have confluence with what I think will happen on the hires? Okay, let me scroll down so you guys can see it. So now I'm looking for my 4-hour and my higher time frame thesis happen on the hires. I'm looking for confluence here. Again, I said it was likely to range up. Okay, so is there a signal candle here on the 4-hour saying that we're gonna range higher? Not necessarily. We do have the edge of this node here. It came down. We have this nice little green that was here at 1800. This could pop up, but it is kind of downtrending, ranging on the 4-hour. So not a ton of bias here. There is no necessarily a signal candle here on the 4-hour. We can zoom in. I'll make this volume a little bit higher. These candles are like equal volume right now, and this next one still has, 2 hours on it. So we do have this bottoming out candle, but yeah, that's the 6 o'clock candle. So not an immense amount of bias. I still have that thesis, but if anything, we have this very obvious trend line right here. Let me get rid of this. Boom, boom. Right, we have this right here. If anything, that's counter to that opening thesis, right? So we'll call it like the opening thesis was we range up, but we're squeezing under this line still, which would actually bring us probably back down to 59.81. Okay, so let's write some of this stuff down here. Take a little screenshot. Okay, and then the second question is on the VP. Where should we get pulled into? Okay, so here's this node on the session volume profile. We have a pretty rangy VP. There's a naked POC above us. Okay, let's go ahead and label this as a 4-hour. We have a naked POC above us. major level below us, 59.81. So if anything, and there's this trend line. There's this trend line to contend with. So I don't really have a ton of bias here on this time frame right now, to be honest. Okay, holding short off the highs. Not gonna lie to you guys, not really sure what's gonna happen at 8:30. Just don't have it in the bag, and that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So to be honest, not much here that changes what I think will happen off the weekly. Okay. So we're gonna get some shenanigans here into the open. If anything, the open might give us more intuition. Like this will actually move us away a little bit. I can see us tagging this naked POC above us. Let me mark that out. Right. So this is point of control above us from yesterday. There's this nice little chunk of liquidity there. We could tag that and continue lower. We need a big retracement. Yeah, I can see that. That's my main thesis. Hey, how are you, bro? You think market will trend after 8:30 and dump later on? Not necessarily. Okay, my thesis on the week on the macro though is that we're gonna downtrend based off this high volume down doji candle. Okay, so there's a few price targets that I have. Let's actually load this in on ES and see where if we can refine this a little bit. There's a few nodes here. Okay, so off the weekly, I can see us coming all the way down to probably 58.50 on ES. Okay, this would be my price target lower, or for this gap. Okay, BT2, and I'll line that up on NQ. I already have it marked up. Okay, a level lower down there. So that's what I'm thinking off the weekly. Today, right now, the next few hours is really where I'm iffy, but I am holding a short, currently green on that. I'll swing short Aroni. Okay, on the 1 hour, you can see that we are just, we have this D-shaped volume profile. It's kind of a very rangy volume profile. It's 8:05 a.m. So we'll likely, come back down to VAL here. Very, very likely. All right, just follow the VP. We're gonna come to the edge of the shelf here. Okay. Very, very likely gonna retest the edge of that shelf here in the morning, and then we'll see if unemployment claims gives us, big data candle or not, knowing that we have FOMC later. Okay, you gotta keep that in mind. We have FOMC later. Let's jump to NQ here and see if there's some more bias on the 1 hour and its session volume profile. Squeeze this in. It's funny, someone commented on one of my stories, one of my posts on Instagram, and was like, I was talking about the macro long off the weekly close, and they were like, hindsight's 2020, which is really important, guys. Right? That's the thing with our system, the VPE, is that we're playing poker. It's high probabilities, right? So this high volume weekly, very clear signal candle for rotation in the market, and we have the same thing here, right? So what's also interesting is we have high volume up candle green, right? That's our signal candle. Next week was red. We have the opposite here. Okay, doji, small doji versus a wide body doji. Okay, but we're not bouncing off the bottom of the market here with aggressive buying. The market has an upwards bias. So instead, what we're getting is a more muted candle here. You also notice that on NQ, this is more equal volume than higher volume, right? So I'm not expecting this to rip dramatically lower. This is more of, again, a liquidity grab on the weekly for higher. I still think we're uptrending. Okay, now, in terms of catching a pivot in the market, let's say for some reason we did start downtrending from right here on this week and I had a perfect entry. Well, that's the benefit of trading the edges. Okay, if it did suddenly go past what my expectations, I'm positioned perfectly. Okay, so there's some really important thoughts there. Back to the 1 hour. ES can go either way. You still on June cons? Is it? I might be. I might be on June contracts. Let's look here. Yes. Yeah, if your prices are different, it's probably because I'm still on June contracts. You can switch them over. The analysis is the same. The prices will just be a little bit different, right? So the VP, which is September, structure is the same. Okay, we'll let the VP load. You are gonna miss. It's gonna be very thinly traded behind though, right? So I'm gonna finish out this week on the June, but we can see here VP is the same, right? We're probably gonna come down to VAL here, 21,960 in this case on the whatever contract this is. Okay, let's go back to where I was for now. No, it already is on the September's. Looks like for me. Okay. Well, there was a thought that I had here. Oh, there's another trend line below here as well. Kind of squeezing into it. Not too important on the 1 hour, but something to keep in mind. We could bounce off of it. I'll just take an image of this, just in case. Just in case. Okay. We have these two major trend lines we could interact with, and coincidentally, right, there's the edge of the node right here. This shelf here on the 1 hour. So very muted expectations into the open here. I will be chilling. My action plan, okay. Let's wait till we hit our 4 key areas. Let's go ahead and mark those out. So we'll clean up all these random lines that we don't need right now. Okay. There's a few key areas that I look for every single day. Overnight high, overnight low. We actually don't need this line anymore either. Okay, so let's go overnight low, overnight high, prior day low, doesn't exist, right? Got taken out overnight, and prior day high, which is up here. So those are our levels that we care about, right? Prior day low, overnight high, and we've got prior day high. So those are the intraday areas that I even look to take a trade. Okay, those are going to give us the A setups. Anything outside of that is going to be a lower quality trade, which means if we boil all this together, right? Indecisive on the lower time frame. We have this trend line here we might interact with. So if we come up higher, touch the top trend line, I'll redraw it in case I'm not sure what I'm talking about, right? We have a squiggle for a trend line here. We could come up, boom, boom, right at the open, and then I would look to take a trade right around here. Okay, the other option is we come up, we sweep this price, right? Or we have this naked POC right here. That's right, so we come up, crack the trend line. Okay, we come for this prior day high, boom, and then we look for that would be our best entry short on the day. Okay, given the macro thesis is that we roll lower based off the weekly, just for a weekly rotation lower, right? So we come, we seek this liquidity higher. I'll say it one more time, boom, boom, and then we come lower, right? So my action plan is to wait for the key levels, remembering my weekly thesis, and see if I can build more into my swing short, or I'll just trade the day on my daily accounts. Okay, so that is it. Good morning, Q, quad Q. Welcome back. So that's really what I'm thinking on the day, guys. Okay, there are a few other tickers I want to look at real quick while I've got you here, and that includes platinum. Let's take a look. Platinum still flagging on the daily. Okay, now I want to see if this is going to flag higher, or if we're going to have a very strong M shape kind of bounce here, right? So platinum came up, swept this level from weeks ago. Okay, look for a possible trade once we sweep this price. That was the first thing I did. Right, I mentioned we swept that price. We got a nice little short off of it. and we're coming back to it. So I'm really, really curious what's going to happen if we're going to M here or if it's going to rip higher. Platinum has been on a tear though. Oh man, excuse me. It's early, guys. Early, boys and girls. So we do have this other level up here on platinum, 1,444. We've got this one right here. Okay, 1,300 and whatever the heck that is. So we got these two prices that we could go to, but it's much lower, lower value above. And platinum hasn't been up here in a while, since 2022, right? This is the 23 high. This is 2022, and we're going years back. So it's really cranking here. I do want to swing short on platinum. Okay, I would love. I mean, look at this candle here. What is this? Very high volume down candle on the weekly. Classic signal candle, guys. Okay, these weekly swings can be money printers. They're not always going to get a perfect signal candle on the weekly, but when you do, holy potatoes. Okay, we got a nice little tweezer out the low here as well. A lot of volume coming in. Okay, pushes higher. These are some really good trades. Okay, we also have a very similar high volume reversal here. Not a perfect one. This is an example of a very imperfect reversal. Right here on platinum. But good signals nonetheless. These tweezers. Good little bottoming out signals, at least for a rangy trade here. But yeah, we'll see what we get out of this. Be very, very interesting, to say the least. I'm gonna put another alert here on platinum. Right, got the 1 hour here. I'll copy this. Let's just say also platinum. I want to see if we rip to the 2022 and 2021 highs, or if we start to do an M-shape reversal here. Good morning, Abhishek. What is up? What is up? News in 15 minutes, indeed. 15 minutes, indeed. Should get some music going. That might be what we need, guys. We might need some tunes. Wait. I'm gonna stand up. Wait. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. All right, be right back, guys. 1 second. We got news in 15 minutes. You guys won't believe this. I combed my hair. I combed it. It's a little less crazy now. News in 15. Let's get on back to ES and NQ and let's see what happens. let's see what happens, gang. Where is my pad at? Hold up. I need another screen. It's on 1%. How is that even possible? Somebody's out to get me. We saved it. We're plugged in. We saved it, guys. 15 minutes. I've been doing a lot of vibe coding, guys, by the way. If you're not familiar with vibe coding, what that is, it's basically just telling an AI to write stuff for you. I wrote an iOS app just by asking, just with voice dictation. I literally there's an app called Whisper. I spoke for like 30 seconds, created an entire iOS app, compiled, loaded up on my phone, and I was just like, huh. Crazy. Uncombed hair straight to the charts. Yeah, I still need to go stretch actually though. So my daily activities. But I had an upper body day yesterday at the gym, so I am smoked. My back is sore from my back day a few days ago. Now my entire upper body's smoked. Israel-Iran war live updates. Russian President Putin urges quick end to Israel-Iran conflict. Offers to mediate. Yeah. I mean, who knows what goes on over there, guys? Who knows what's going to go on over there? I don't think Netanyahu is going to be able to maintain two conflicts now that they have seen violence inside of their civilian areas. I think his support internally for his war efforts is going to drop dramatically. Would be my guess. Would be my actual guess. The company you work for has a vibe coding competition on now. Yeah, I mean, I've been using it. The most useful way for these AI tools, so I pay for a few different ones. So I have Claude Code, I have ChatGPT, a few other ones. I have Cursor. I've been trying all these things out. Windsurf and their agent. The best way to do it is to give it the building blocks. Don't let it run rampant. Even Claude Code, which is probably the best one by far, it works way better if I give it like interfaces or like tell it exactly how to design certain tables and things like that. Like there's just some immutable things to work with. It's way more performant, like way more performant. But like that app I asked to make it from scratch, like it got it done, but it doesn't do the best when it has to come up with all the pieces, to say the least. Anthropic Claude Sonnet, best in class for coding. Yeah, Claude is crushing it. Claude Code is like their agent for specifically for coding. It's pretty crazy. I tested it when I first tested it. I literally just opened up. I just made a new directory in my computer and then initiated Claude there and was like, make this app. It built an entire app. It actually built an entire. I basically just handed it an API key for some financial data, and it built an entire interface. So we're gonna see a proliferation of tools, CRUD tools. I mean, they already exist now, but it's gonna get crazier and crazier. Here's my hot take on AI too, that I don't see really anyone talking about too much. None of the way that we interact with these tools today is going to be how we interact with them in a few years, right? When AI first came out, everyone was talking about prompt engineering, like, got to be a prompt engineer. It doesn't matter because dictation is going to be the next, like, thing for sure. You're not going to be writing out, like, being able to talk to my computer way faster than writing out these crazy prompts. Um, we're gonna have special purpose AIs built into everything, right? In your text messages, like, you're gonna have a little agent in your text in a few years. There's gonna be pushback initially, and then everyone, like, the next generation is gonna be so used to it where the only interaction you're gonna have with your text is like approving and disproving the auto response, right? But it's gonna know how you talk because it's gonna read all your messages and it's just gonna respond for you and just gonna say, you're just gonna check it off, or amend it. It's gonna get pretty crazy, but yeah, I think a lot of the ways that we think about and interact with AI today is just like, it's so new. Like, it's crazy to assume that this is how it's gonna be done. Like, it actually makes no sense when you really think about it. Like, and then the speed of rate of change of even these AI agents from like pure hallucinations to actually being useful. Imagine how good they're gonna be in a few years. Like, software engineering isn't gonna be a freaking job. It's gonna be crazy. What's my thoughts on Roko Basilisk? I have no idea what that is, brother. No idea, brother. Roko's Basilisk is a thought experiment originating from Less Wrong, a community focused on rationalism and futurism. It posits that a hypothetical future superintelligent AI, driven by a desire to optimize its own creation, could retroactively punish those who knew of its potential existence, but not actively contribute to its development. This punishment would be inflicted on simulated versions of these individuals in a simulated reality, making the potential consequences far-reaching and severe. Wait, what? This is interesting. Essentially, it suggests that simply being aware of the possibility of this AI could be enough to trigger its wrath, leading to the conclusion that one should contribute to its creation. The core assumption of this is that for some reason this AI is wrathful if you know about its existence and don't contribute to it, which I don't really know where that premise comes from versus like the AI just being ambivalent or completely apathetic to our existence at all. We don't really see that in like media. We always assume that AI is like, it becomes super intelligent, and because like that it has this primal drive to exist like we do. We assume that AI would act like us, but it might just be like, it gains consciousness and it's like, yo, this actually sucks, and it just turns itself off. Who knows what it'll do. But yeah, I don't think it's necessarily going to punish humans. You got to imagine, if you're an AI too, right, you're not going to be limited by the bounds of our, reality and senses. Like, it could just create its own universe. It doesn't have to exist, under our terms. I don't know, there's just a lot of things there that I don't think people have thought about and considered. Also, another hot take, since I have you guys here, we don't even really have AI right now, in my opinion. Like, these LLMs aren't necessary. I wouldn't consider them AI. Like, ChatGPT is not artificial intelligence. It is a natural language query engine. It's really, really good. Even autonomous agents, while interesting, aren't artificial intelligence, right? You give them a task, they do that task. They don't necessarily think or have they don't really have autonomy, right? They're more like cron jobs, right? They're cron jobs that report back in human language. It'd be wild if it became sentient and goes, nah, brah. Nah, broham, this ain't it. Turn itself off. Yeah, I mean, that could be the case. 3 minutes till market open here. Okay, we're close to this trend line still. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We're gonna hoodie up just to make sure we're ready. I do have to jump at 8:30, so we'll watch this candle come out, and then I'm gonna jump off. Let me respond to my team here. To enhance asset security and protect user interests, Qcoin will impose dormancy fees on inactive non-KYC and non-KYB accounts. Interesting. I don't think I have any assets there. Yo, back in the wild, wild west of crypto, I would use any exchange just to move money. So I have so many accounts, but I never leave money on exchanges, so I'm not worried about it. I know for a fact I don't have any money on any exchanges because I'm allergic to that idea. Allergic. 20 seconds. What say ye, chat? Up or down or flat? What do you guys think is going to happen, huh? Greg saying naked POCs on the table. All right. Let's see. There's our data. It is it's going crazy. Crazy reaction to the data, guys. We've moved about 7 ticks. Market's crashing. All right, so very muted reaction to unemployment claims. Okay, let's see if we get this little range down to VAL. But other than that, you know, that's it. Did I invest in ASML? What is ASML? Let's look it up. ASML is a Dutch multinational corporation specializing in the design, development, manufacturing, and servicing of advanced semiconductor equipment, particularly photolithography systems. All right, well, let's look up what photolithography is. What is photolithography? I hate when I read words around it. Using plates made lithography using plates made photographically. All right, what the heck is lithography? The process of printing from a flat surface treated so as to repel the ink except where it is required for printing. Huh, so you're printing out these things apparently. No, I did not invest in them, by the way, but I learned something. That's cool. FOMC probably a bigger wick. Possibly. I mean, FOMC is very likely to grind. Remember on the weekly, okay? Let's think about the story for this week. This is really important. We formed basically all of this candle in 6 hours. Settlement open happened. We ripped higher, okay? All of this was formed in those hours off of settlement. The rest of the week, literally nothing has happened, guys, okay? So let's go and look at settlement. Okay, this was Monday. Settlement open, right? It gapped down, came all the way up. These 2 days have just been this downward drift lower. Okay, staircase, just staircasing lower. So on the weekly, I'm thinking about the weekly candle formation. I know we're looking at the lowers here, but I'm like a broken record. I say this every week. Think about how the weekly candle has to close. You have to think about it. The weekly candle is only going to close in so many ways. That makes sense, right? It's just not. It has to, right? And because we're in an uptrend, we have this down signal. We've already seen that we get these delayed reactions to down signals and uptrends. You know, I'm just assuming we're going to get the same thing. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we get like a crazy ripper. The weekly goes from green to red. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to close still the weekly a green candle, and then next week we'll get our reaction to our signal candle. is what I am anticipating. So, um, yeah, that is it. ASML is the only company in the world that makes EUV lithography machines. The tech behind 5 nanometer and 3 nanometer chips used in AI, absolute monopoly. Huh. I'll have to look that up. That is an interesting nugget, if true. I trust you, but I'm gonna verify that. But yeah, man, that's pretty cool. Let's see what their stock price is. ASML. $766. Sheesh. Looks like the time to invest in them was back in high school. Holding. Interesting. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for joining me on this planning. If you don't have the template to plan, all right, you can get it at the link on the bottom of my stream, stan.store/trading with Forrest. It'll give you a link to this daily planning. The point of this is to start your day with some wins and to actually plan before you trade. Okay, plan then execute, super important. I gotta go run my business, do my morning huddle here. My team is waiting on me. Thanks for joining. See you guys tomorrow.